Okay, before I begin today's video, I first like to state this. This is going to be an extremely long video. So if you don't like extremely long videos, you may want to bypass this video. Secondly, I'm going to say a lot of things in this video that's going to trigger sensitive people. So if you're very sensitive, if you don't like someone opinion and their opinion may be different from your opinion, then you might want to bypass this video. All right. So, and thirdly, we're going to have to use the words and the terms allegedly. All right. We got to walk very delicately through this situation between Adam 22, Sharp, No Jumper, and AD. So we're going to use words. We're going to use the word. We're going to start off by saying allegedly, allegedly, allegedly. All right. Because at the end of the day, nobody knows what's really going on. Everyone's speculating. Also, go check out DJ Academics YouTube channel because he broke this down perfectly. He broke this down with the finest wine. All right. So go check out DJ Academics, his opinion on this whole thing. And listening to DJ Academics, he was very fair and balanced. But I noticed in the comment section, there was a lot of people that were taking up for Sharp. There was a lot of people taking up for, Adam 22. But, DJ Academics, he's an insider. He does this. And, his insight and his information was very on point. So go check out his video, okay? Anyway, let's get into today's video. So, it just seems like another disgruntled employee has left No Jumper, and they're waging war on their former boss. Okay? So, if you've been living under a rock, allow your boy to explain. So, Sharp went on his YouTube channel and basically talked about how he's no longer going to be doing No Jumper. Now, his first live stream, he was talking about, well, I'm going to be on No Jumper, but I'm not going to be on there often. And now this latest news, it sounds like he's just leaving No Jumper. All right. So whatever Sharp is mindset is, I'm pretty sure someone in the comment section is going to comment and say, oh, no. He left No Jumper. Okay. And if if he did, that's fair. All right. That's fair and in balance. All right. So Sharp talked about how there was a lot of things that came to his conclusion on why he's leaving No Jumper. All right. So I'm going to go through the important stuff. All right. Because he said a lot of stuff. One thing in particular, he talked about how, he's not featured on a lot of stuff. And he felt like he was being pigeonholed into doing one thing and one thing only, which was the Shark Tank, where he would interview, basically the corn stars and the OnlyFans models or the OnlyFans influencers, whatever. And to me, when I used to watch Shark Tank, I would watch it for that type of content because I thought he got the very best out of that. Plus, he's a former pimp, and his insight into that world is a plus as well. So I would watch his show for that stuff. Okay, sometimes you got different flavors of entertainment, and when I watch the Shark Tank, it's just fuckery at its finest. Okay, you can't get no diabolical than the Shark Tank. Okay, so he talked about how he did, he's no longer getting A tier guests, and now Adam gets them all. Now, he also talked about how it seems like his wife is Adam 22's wife, Lena the plug. I keep butchering her name on a consistent basis. Basically, giving him the stank eye because I guess what he said to one of her guests or host or whatever, something something got mixed up, or something was on point, or something was mixed up. All right, either or. So with that, and he's not getting the A tier guests, and he's not being really featured on a lot of shows. The stuff started building, and then he said, "You know what? I'm leaving." No Jumper. Now he also said some things about Adam 22's wife. I'm not going to mention none of that stuff because at the end of the day, I don't feel his issues with Lena the Plug is a valid issue, and why he's not returned, why he quit No Jumper. I think it has a lot to do with money. I don't care what anybody says. It has a lot to do with money, and it also has a lot to do with, what your status is at the workplace. All right. If you started as a big shot and you're getting the A tier guests, and you're also being featured on a lot of other things, and then for them to downsize you and to also cut your revenue and the money that you was making, then that's going to be a less desirable place. I'm just going to keep it all the way a buck. I'm going to keep it all the way 1,000. We have all had jobs where you start off, it's good. They got you in this position. You're making this type of money. You're doing this, you're doing that. And then the boss comes to you and say, hey, we're going to have to downsize a lot of stuff. We're going to have to get rid of a lot of stuff. And now that job in that position is not so appealing. So then you start thinking of an exit strategy. We have all been there and done that. All right. Sharp is no different. All right. First and foremost, let me address the Sharp thing. I'm going to address Adam 22 thing. And then I'm just going to give you guys my perspective about what's a Negro wake-up call. Okay, we'll just call it like that. All right, so let's talk about Sharp. I understand Sharp's frustration. And, everyone understands Sharp's frustration. When you got there was plenty of opportunities. And now the opportunities are limited. You're not getting the best guests. You don't see any growth and development where you gone from this part and you're gradually going into something different. I get all that. I think Sharp is great as a content creator. I think Sharp is very good at explosive type of television, of, hype type television, of, argumental reality show type of content. And I think Sharp is great at that. I think another thing Sharp is great at is, talking about the pimp world. There's a lot of people that are interested in that. I think he's good at that as well. But let's not kid ourselves. Sharp was not great at, reading a teleprompter and talking about the news. Sharp was not that good, or wasn't on point when he talked about hip hop culture. When you talk about gang activities, and I feel like the gang activity content is dying off. I don't think a lot of people are interested in that anymore. They were 5, 6, maybe 10 years ago. I don't think that stuff is popping right now. Okay. But, that's just my perspective. I'm pretty sure people are going to say in the comment section, they're going to prove me otherwise. I just don't see it frequently on social media, and particularly on YouTube. And, and when you're talking about gang activity, you have to talk very carefully about it, particularly if you want to be monetized on YouTube. Okay. So there's there's some things that Sharp is excellent and great at. And then there's a lot of things Sharp is not good at. And I understand nobody wants to do the same thing over and over again. It gets kind of boring. You want to revolutionize yourself. You want to do things differently. And there's nothing wrong with doing other different things, But you have to have a reality clock set into you. Like, hey, look, I tried the teleprompter thing, talking about hip hop news. That ain't working. That ain't it. I need to think of something else. All right. You know, everybody can't be good at everything. But the things that Sharp is great at, it, you know, those are things that he probably don't have a huge desire of continuing to do that. But when you're a content creator, if you're getting the viewership and people are viewing that type of content, then that's the type of content you're going to have to do. All right. So it is what it is. Um, Secondly, about Sharp, he talked about to me and let me get on Adam 22 before I get on Sharp because there's another thing I want to talk about, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Okay, my thing with Adam 22, and I always had this about Adam 22, and it's not really an issue with Adam 22. I think when it comes to business, Adam 22 is a shrewd operator. Adam 22 is not going to keep anyone there because they're friends or they're down with Adam 22. If it doesn't make dollars to Adam 22, then it doesn't make sense. And he rather just fire them or just get rid of it to save the money. All right. And I like how DJ Academic says Adam 22 is a shrewd operator as far as business go, and he wish he had the mindset of Adam 22. And he used a couple of examples of, he got people on his payroll that are basically not living up to that salary. So he has to figure out ways to make them, in essence, earn their money. And you're talking about renting out his studio for other podcasts and things of that nature. Okay, that's one way you can do that. You can do that, but then you also have to be a businessman and realize that if I'm paying somebody to do absolutely nothing, then I'm losing money. Okay, and I think that gets lost in the sauce with Adam 22. When everyone talks about Adam 22, they talk about him being a culture vulture. All right. But if we're going to use that term for Adam 22, or we're going to use that term for everybody else, because I don't hear everybody, like Cam and Mace, they have a great sports show. And they come from the hip hop, rap music genre. They don't know anything. They don't have any history in the field that they are excelling in. So are journalists or media personalities or former athletes are going to say, well, Cam and Mace, they're culture vultures. No, you don't hear that terminology. They welcome it in because it's only going to have more eyeballs in sports in that culture. Okay. And my thing is when people say that Adam 22, and these are the two names I constantly keep hearing, Adam 22 and Vlad TV, that they're culture vultures. And they're not good for the culture. If they're not so good for the culture, then how come they get millions of views? Y'all do realize that we in the black community, not only there's a lot of content creators that are African American, but they're also people that the viewership are African American. So if we have a large portion of viewership and we have a stake in a portion in content creating, then how come Adam 22 and Vlad TV still exist today? How come they still get millions of views? I know nobody's going to say in the comment section, all those views are from other nationalities. We're not going to go there. All right. So there's somebody in our community that appreciates No Jumper and appreciates Vlad TV. And hey, look, Vlad was wrong about that Marlon Wayans interview. And if he had to do it all over again, he would probably take that deal. Hindsight being 50-50. And there's a lot of things Adam 22 is wrong about, but I feel like in this case right here, he's sort of right. You know, he didn't disrespect Sharp. He just said, look, you're not going to get a lot of opportunities. And then to me, Sharp, if you can label the times where the relationship turned sour or you're no longer getting these deals, if you can say, hey, this happened at this point, this happened at that point, can you go a little bit further when he let go of AD and that team? You didn't see, because I saw it, Adam 22 was downsizing. Even when AD and them left. You know, why keep all of this, all these people, and they're not making nothing for you? At the end of the day, this is a business. This ain't, okay? And I understand AD's, you know, he felt like he felt like Adam 22. He really was down for Adam 22. He was really ready to take the fade for Adam 22 and all that stuff. But man, look, we're talking about adult stuff. We're talking about business here. We're talking about business. What keeps the lights on? What keeps the doors open and closing? You know, people, and I understand why, and there's a lot of, and I feel like Adam 22, how he handled that situation with AD, and like midway through, I felt like he was wrong on how he handled it. And I wasn't a huge supporter of AD either on how he handled it. I don't think it's ever resolved. I think these two guys are still beefing. But at the end of the day, this is business. And I'm sorry if you're giving salaries out and you're not getting no income from these salaries, then it's time to cut the salary. That's how I look at it. I don't know why anyone else would look at it a different way. You know, nobody deserves a free ride. Okay? This is business. This is no different than any other business in any other walk of life. And I feel like, you know, that to me, that excuse of, well, he did me wrong, he did me dirty, that's just an old played out excuse. And we need to do something different. All right? You know, and I said this about of Maul and I forgot the other guy's name, Rory and Maul. I said the exact same thing when they was leaving Joe Budden's podcast, and I said the same thing. What I'm going to say now about AD and Sharp, dude. How come y'all don't create your own lane? I mean, it's good that you're working at No Jumper. It's good that you're working at Joe Budden. Now, unless your contract says that you're not allowed to do your own thing, then I understand. But I remember Joe Budden saying that Rory and Maul could do their own thing, and they refused to do it. The only reason why they're doing their own thing now because they don't have the Joe Budden podcast. So, of course, they're going to do their own thing. And I don't understand why AD and Sharp, they had these channels before going to No Jumper, and now they go back to these channels, and I'm going like, it's good that you can, you know, I think Shannon Sharp is a perfect example of getting both sides, reaping benefits on both sides. You know, Shannon Sharp signed a multi-year contract with ESPN, and in that contract, he's allowed to do his own thing. And, you know, he's getting very popular, making a lot of money on Nightcap, on Club Shay Shay. He's got the multi-year deal with ESPN. I mean, I don't know if that's vodka or whatever, bourbon or whatever. He's got that going on. He's making money on both ends of the candlestick. But I feel like a lot of these guys, when they get signed to like Joe Button or Vlad or Adam 22 or whatever, they get complex and then they just don't want to work hard as far as establishing their own brand. And they're saying, well, hey, I'm getting checks doing this. These are some pretty large checks. Why would I go and venture out and do my own thing? That's their mindset. And when reality hits them, when they are no longer needed at this big brand, then they feel they feel like they've been played on and this, that, and the third, when you had opportunities to build your brand with them. So yeah, that's all I got with this. I'm not saying Adam 22 was 1,000% right. I'm not saying that Sharp was 1,000% wrong, but I do feel like in this situation, I agree with a lot of Sharp's points, and I agree with a lot of Adam 22 points, but I disagree with their other points. I mean, I feel like this could have been handled a lot better. But anyway, guys, tell me what you think. Rate, comment, subscribe. See you guys later.